Okay, I'll call the meeting to order. We have several nominations to consider today. First, we'll do Senate nomination number 9, which is Michael C. Rozier from Hattiesburg to the State Board of Contractors for a 5-year term. I'm going to ask Senator McMahon to handle this nomination.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have before us Michael Rosner. Michael Rosner is being appointed to the State Board of Contractors. His nomination does comply with state law. And I yield for any questions. Yeah, he's here. Okay. Mr. Rosner, would you like to address the committee? Senator Johnson, you'd like to make a comment?
While technically Mike is Senator Polk's constituent, he's a good friend of mine and has been in the construction business for years. Second generation, if I'm not mistaken, has a great reputation, not only in Hattiesburg, but throughout the state of Mississippi and elsewhere. A couple of locations in Mississippi that they're based out of, Greenwood and Hattiesburg, if I'm not mistaken. And I think he'd be a great addition to the Board of Contractors.
Thank you. Any additional questions or comments? I spoke with Mr. Rosner and he understands the commitment it takes to serve on these boards, and he does meet all qualifiers for this position.
Your motion?
A motion is that we do advise and consent.
Do advise and consent. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Congratulations, you get to serve on the board, even with Senator Johnson's help. Next is Senate nomination number 46, Joe Clifton II of Meridian, Mississippi, to the State Board of Funeral Service, as a funeral service license representative from the 1st Supreme Court District. This will be a 4-year term beginning December 22nd, 2023, ending June 30th, 2027. Senator McMahon, I've asked you to handle this.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So we have candidate Joe Clifton II before us. I've interviewed Mr. II. We've had a very pleasant conversation. He does meet all requirements of state law. At the time of the peer report, there was he had not filed his statement of economic interest, but I believe that's been recorded since our phone conversation. And I would recognize Mr. II if you would like to address the committee or if anyone has any questions for him.
I just want to let everybody know, appreciate the opportunity to be able to serve the state on the board. I've been in funeral service since 1988 and just thankful for this opportunity.
Questions from the committee members?
I have a motion
Motion is
that we do advise and consent.
do advise and consent. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Congratulations. You will get to serve on the board also. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Next is nomination number 74, James Robert Jim Strew of Hattiesburg, Mississippi Real Estate Commission, for a remainder of a 4-year term beginning upon Senate confirmation and ending June 30, 2026, representing the 4th Congressional District. Senator McMahon, I've asked you to handle this one.
We have before us a candidate, James Robert Strew. Mr. Strew and I had a very nice conversation. He meets all the qualifiers to serve on this board. There was a little bit of question about something I had, but he was able to address that for me pretty quickly. And I yield for any questions or to allow the candidate to address the committee. Are there any questions for Mr. Strube before the board, before this committee? He understands the commitment it's going to take to serve and is willing to serve. I appreciate that. And I do have a motion, Mr. Chairman, at the proper time.
Proper time.
My motion would be that we do advise and consent.
Motion is to advise and consent. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Congratulations. We'll bring this before
Thank
the
you.
full board.
Thank you for coming.
Next is Senate nomination number 10, Madison H. Hamp Smith of Tupelo to the State Board of Contractors for a 5-year term effective July 1st of 2023 and ending June 30, 2028. Senator McMahon.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Before us, we have a candidate, Madison Hamp Smith. He likes to be referred to as Hamp. He has served on this board for several years, for many years. As a matter of fact, he lives in Tupelo, Mississippi, and he does meet all the qualifiers to be reappointed. Because it's a reappointment, I did not ask, after discussing it with the chair, of course, we did not require him to come before the committee since it's a reappointment, but I yield for any questions.
Any questions? Members?
I have a motion. My motion would be that we do advise and consent.
Advise consent. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next is Senate nomination number 18, Maxwell Mitchell Wells of Canton, Mississippi, to the State Board of Funeral Service and an at-large member for a 4-year term effective June 19, 2023 and ending March 13, 2027. Senator McMahon, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members of the committee, we have before us a candidate, Maxwell Mitchell. He likes to be referred to as Max Wells. He is being reappointed by the Honorable Governor Tate Reeves for a 4-year term. After consulting with the chair, because it's a reappointment, we did not ask him to appear before the committee. He does meet all the qualifiers, and there are no derogatory statements in the peer report. I now yield for any questions.
Boyd.
Yes, ma'am. At the time of the peer reports, there were multiple candidates that had filed, had not been posted, but I'll check on that. I'll give you my word. I'll check on it before it's presented on the floor, Senator.
Other questions, Senator? Parks?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On that same issue, is this an annual filing that we make?
Yes, sir.
I thought the peer report says it doesn't appear he's filed since 2020, so he's served on the board. Just make sure he understands, we try to remind one another here in chamber to file that as well, but we do need to file. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Anyone else? Do I have a motion?
My motion is that we do advise and consent.
Aye. Consent. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you. Next is Senate nomination number 45, Nicholas L. Nick Mallard of Brookhaven to the State Board of Funeral Service as the Funeral Service Licensed Representative in the 2nd Supreme Court District for a 4-year term beginning December 22nd of 23 and ending June 30 of 27. Senator McMahon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members of the committee, we have before us a candidate, Nicholas Mallard. Nicholas Mallard is it's the governor's will that he be reappointed to a 4-year term. He does meet all the qualifiers to serve. And I do yield for any questions.
Same issue as before.
Your motion?
My motion is that we do advise and consent.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you. And last, Senate nomination number 60 for Norman A. Kennedy from Ridgeland, Mississippi, to the Real Estate Appraisal Board for a 4-year term beginning January 2nd of this year, ending December 31st of 2026. Representing the 3rd Congressional District as the district executive on July 1, 2004. Sir, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senators, we have before us a candidate, Norman Alexander Kennedy. Mr. Kennedy is being reappointed by Governor Tate Reeves to serve on this board. He does meet the qualifiers of the law to serve, and I yield for any questions.
Question number? Do I have a motion?
My motion is that we do advise and consent.
Motion is to advise and consent. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Thank you very much. That will carry. Do I have, sir? I have a question. You have a question?
Only the statement of economic entity, we said about these statements. And, before we take in that, so I know I have to file most citizens, do file, most elected officials do file, so let's make sure we going forward, let's make sure that we get, before we bring these people here, we need to know as much information as we possibly can. I see it changed up the form of it there. And hard to follow it, but let's make sure.
Senator, Mr. Chairman, am I recognized? I'll follow up with both these candidates that it's not showing that they're completed at this time. I will follow up and update the chairman before they're brought to the, before he chooses to bring them to the floor.
That's satisfactory.
Yes, sir.
Anything else? Motion?
Uh,
Right, report. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.